Patron orders are absolutely essential for crafting professions in World of Warcraft, and they are even more important than ever before in Midnight. What we are covering today is how much the rewards for Patron orders has been buffed, although at first glance you may not see this, and also why and how you can make so much gold from these at the start of an expansion. Also, a quick look at those dreaded Patron orders that cost 10,000 gold plus to complete. Patron orders are mostly seen as a weekly knowledge point farm for crafting professions. This is fine, and that is their most important function. I don't think anyone would argue with that. But when I say you can make some good gold here, I don't mean get more knowledge points, make more gold from professions. I'm talking about the actual rewards you get from Patron orders. So let's get into it. Firstly, and the bit I find most amusing and makes for some great screenshots, some people do not realise that if you get a Patron order and get a resourcefulness proc, you get to keep the materials yourself, even if you do not provide them. Say you do one of these Patron orders where they supply all the materials, basically all you need to do is press craft, and you get resourcefulness proc, then you still get to keep any materials that come from that. Now, one of the most annoying things crafters have found with Patron orders is occasionally getting these absolutely crazy ones, especially with professions like blacksmithing that have maybe 10,000 gold plus in material requirements as it's to craft an epic armor or weapon or something like that at the start of an expansion. This is annoying, especially if it lands on one of your knowledge Patron orders. But without those annoying Patron orders, then we could not get the same Patron orders, but where all or almost all of the materials are supplied. These are actually pretty insane because the value of the materials involved can be really high, like we said, especially at the start of a new expansion. Getting resourcefulness procs here can be worth thousands of gold just for press and craft. This does not mean that everything is always going to be a profit, but keep an eye out for these kind of Patron orders, as even if the rewards for the Patron order itself is really crap, they still may be worth thousands of gold and you may not even realise it at first glance. Now, before we get onto the big changes with Patron orders, I just want to advertise the community gold making Discord. Loads of free Midnight gold making guides on there. Link is below this video. Okay, so time for the first of two buff to Patron orders. Just like in the War Within, we can get finishing regions to give plus skill to crafters as a reward from Patron orders. These were great, either use them in your crafting to increase profits and make more gold, or sell them just like in the War Within. But we do have a big change here. The rare version, the Mentor's Helpful Handiwork in Midnight, can now be combined in groups of 5 to make an Artisan Consortium's Gold Star, which gives a huge plus 50 skill when crafting. Now you can get the Artisan's Consortium Gold Star from Patron orders on your crafter as a reward, but it is rare, and I've only seen it a few times after many hours on the beta. This is a way that you can get as many of these as you want on any crafter, because you can just buy the Mentor's Helpful Handiwork and combine them on any crafter. This is new. You could never do this in the War Within. You was always at the mercy of what Patron orders supplied to you when it came to the epic version. Now, I'm making this before the expansion releases, but I can only see that this extra utility can create even more demand for Mentor's Helpful Handiwork. And the fact that it uses up 5 every time that you want to combine is really going to soak a lot of these up from the market. I know you probably think of these as only being worth a few hundred gold, but at the start of the War Within, these were spiking at over 5,000 gold each and didn't drop below 3,500 gold until the expansion had been out for a month, and that was without the extra utility. These look like they're going to be another great way to make some gold from your Patron orders, so keep an eye out for them. Now, I think the most obvious way I think players make gold from their Patron orders is from Augment runes. I don't think there's really much to say here. You can usually get between 1,000 to 2,000 gold per rune, sort of in the first season. This one is quite simple. No changes here at all. Just be aware of how much they're actually worth at the start of an expansion and that you can actually make some reliable gold here. Okay, so the Artisan's Consortium payout bags that you frequently get as almost a bonus reward from Patron orders. Now, I don't know about you, but I actually found these things quite annoying in the War Within, as they would just fill my bags full of like crappy, often worthless materials that I didn't really want. In Midnight, we have a nice upgrade here. Things like frameworks, mirror powder, etc. that were finishing regions in the War Within that boosted crafting stats when doing a craft, these are pretty much gone. What we've been given instead is bind on pickup drops from these bags that can be used as finishing regions to do the same thing, and like with the plus skill items earlier, can be combined to make a bigger, better version. Now this is a big buff to these payout bags, especially the multicraft one. The upgraded multicraft one gives about 8% multicraft, I think, from memory. So that is pretty big if you use it on a chunky concentration craft or something like that. There's literally nothing to lose here. You basically get these finishing regions for free and you can't trade them. So finishing region usage is going to be much more widespread. You're basically going to do it on pretty much every crafter now, and it's not going to cost you anything to do it. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, besides to say that just by picking up these payout bags now, you'll be passively getting finishing regions that will buff your crafting and therefore make you more gold. Now the reason I'm not going to talk about it too much is because I've done a separate video talking about these payout bags, in which I open 100 of them as well, so that you can see exactly what you get and what the drop rates are like. If this video helped, please give it a like and let me know in the comments below, do you think Patron orders are worth a look at how much gold you can potentially make from them here at the start of the expansion?